Hey guys, it is day 44 of 365 days of my raw suspending disbelief journey. It is June 5th, and I have had some hilarious alignment happening today. So, starting this morning, it was finally some gorgeous weather here after my son's birthday and not being able to ride his bike and all that stuff. So, we're walking. On the way to school, the kids are riding their bikes. I'm walking, and my sandal broke on the way there. So, um, to the point where like it was unwearable, and I went barefoot. And I actually don't mind. So, if you're in my space online on Facebook, you'll have possibly seen my post about preferring to be barefoot and um, receiving energy through my feet, and like my feet always being too hot. I hate shoes, hate socks, like even like until like the very last second, I'm always wearing my sandals. If I have to wear anything. Sometimes Crocs, just because they're like big and spacious and my feet don't feel as constricted and stuff, and they're easy to quickly slip off any chance that I get. But anyway, so I had, and you guys, this was like ages ago, probably like almost 20 years ago. I had bought like 20 different pairs of sandals. They were on a sale or whatever, and I bought like one of every color. They were like super cheap. But so I had all of these pairs of sandals, and over the years, they've all either, broken, worn out to nothing, gotten lost, like whatever the case may be, been chewed by dogs, right? This has happened several times. Um, I had this one pair left, and so when I had two pairs left, this pair I wasn't wearing because it was partially chewed, but not chewed bad enough for me to throw it out, I guess, before. Anyway, um, so then when the dog chewed my second last pair, like to the point where they were unwearable, I was like, okay, I guess I got to pull these ones out. And they had been used for like gardening and whatever, all of these things before. So they were just like ingrained with filth, right? But they were whatever. They were like the shoes that I would just throw on quick. And again, whenever I can, I'm not wearing shoes anyways, right? But so I never like really cared, I guess, about the shoes. Um, I liked having all the different colors at one point and being able to like match with my shirt at the time with whatever like black tights or jeans or whatever that I was wearing at the time. I don't know. Anyway, it was ridiculous. So it was the last pair, and it broke on our walk and on the way there. So I had to go all the way there, go into the school, everything with no shoes. Um, and like I said, I didn't really mind. Um, like I just mostly walked on the grass, and I love doing that anyways. And the only part that sucked was crossing the road, but it wasn't even that bad. Like my feet are so used to just being barefoot, I think, that it wasn't really that bad. Um, but even though it didn't bother me very much, it really bothered other people. So there was like several of like, oh my gosh, you poor thing, kind of attitudes going on. When they saw that I was like carrying my sandal, or they commented about like, where are my shoes, and it was like, yeah, they're right here, they're just broken. um it was comments like that, and I'm like, no, I'm good. One lady, even, so this was on the way back from the school, she was just slightly ahead of me, or she like kind of passed me at one point, saw the shoes, made the comment, whatever. And then she got to her sidewalk and was like about to go up the door. And she's like, oh my gosh, do you just want my shoes? Like, I'm home. I can just wear other shoes. And I was like, oh no, 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 no. Like, I'm good. And, she kind of like, sarcastically was like, okay, tough girl or whatever. And it was like, that's not even why. So first of all, her shoes were really small and my feet are big. Um, but second of all, I was really enjoying it. Like, I was like, this is fine. Like, for me, it was like a perfect excuse to not wear my shoes where I'm normally, quote unquote, supposed to. So So yeah, it was kind of funny. Um, but the funniest part about it was that this was this is the day before the 5K that I made last Friday is to come in. So it's like the universe is just like, okay, now it's time for new stuff. Time for nicer things. Like this one can go bye-bye, right? And of course, because I'm not used to splurging on myself or like replacing unnecessary things, um, the only way that was going to happen is if my sandal broke. So yeah, I found that really funny. I also, because I was watching the ground where I was walking, I ended up finding a crystal, um, that somebody had dropped randomly. And I was like, ooh, because I love crystals. So yeah, that was hilarious. And then by the end of the day, I also um, I had been thinking about the fact that I have this gift card for a lingerie store. And, um, I always loved being able to have the lingerie that I liked and that I thought was sexy and that made me feel amazing and on and on and on. But having been single, having gained weight with my last pregnancy through COVID and all of this stuff, I was like, I like wearing the wearing the comfy stuff, right? The stuff that's like not so fancy, not so pretty, whatever. And I ended up getting rid of all of my smaller stuff because I was like, I've just been this size for so long. Like I'll buy new stuff if I ever can lose the weight, kind of thing. And I've been holding on to this gift card since before I left my husband 2 years ago now, thinking like I'm going to save it for when I need to go buy new lingerie, right? When I'm ready to go buy new lingerie. And I was like, what the hell am I doing? And um, this is such a manifestation thing, actually. I've been in like a money boot camp thing before, with Denise Duffield Thomas, who, has the Get Rich Lucky Bitch book series and her money boot camp and whatever, all this stuff. And one of the things she talks about is using the abundance that you have. So using up your gift cards, using up the random cash that's lying around or, whatever. And how showing the universe, because the universe doesn't care about money, right? Money is just energy and whatever. So it's like showing the universe, yeah, I've used it all. I need more. Almost kind of a thing. And I'm not explaining it perfectly. Obviously she explains it better. I've done it before though. And I was like, yeah, why the hell was I hanging on to this? So had that realization that I should just go use this gift card, buy myself some underwear that I love in my size. And again, if I ever lose that weight, then I can go shopping for some new underwear as a treat. Like it doesn't need to be something that you hold on to forever. So, um, anyways, end of the day rolls around and I shower, go to put on a new pair of underwear, and it's like fraying at the seams and like coming apart. And I'm just like, okay, I get it. Like upgrade my wardrobe, upgrade my stuff. Okay. Like, and I'm not going to go and splurge on everything, but it was just like these things where I haven't been treating myself at all, as a wealthy woman, I guess, right? If we want to achieve success, if we want to be in that, like, when people say to behave as if you're already there, well, that doesn't mean spending millions of dollars if you're trying to manifest millions of dollars. It does mean taking care of yourself in little ways here and there, things that would be a no-brainer for most people, when you have been very, very poor, can be, can sometimes turn into like lack mindset type stuff where it's like, no, 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 like I have to wait until everything is falling apart before I can replace it, right? It can't be just this underwear makes me feel frumpy and gross or like not as pretty or, whatever. Like it's a mindset shift, right? So, um, and of course, I had just gotten comfortable being uncomfortable with these things, right? Being like, ugh, my annoying chewed up, like half chewed up sandal. I'm just going to keep wearing it. and it looks dirty because it's like a bright, like a vivid orange. It's got like the stained darker spots from gardening and stuff like that. So I'm like, why did I feel the need to hold on to this stuff, to wait to replace? And yes, things have been tight financially, but really, like, you can go buy a pair of sandals for a few dollars. Like, it doesn't even have to be an expensive set. It just is about having the self-worth, the self-pride, whatever, to be like, I care what I'm putting on my body. I care how I feel about how I look. I care. And I'm not huge into like style or fashion or anything like that. So it's literally just a practicality matter. It's I don't want to, every time I go to put on my sandals, notice that it's chewed up and decide, nah, I don't care. And I'm going to wear it anyways. And so every time I was doing that, it's like telling the universe, nah, what I have is good enough. Right. So God, source, universe, whatever. Right. But that was sort of a realization from today, was just like the areas of my life where I haven't been being extra kind to myself, right? Just extra loving, and like, you deserve to have, right? Like, to myself, where it's like, you are allowed to just have nice things, or have at least decent things, right? Have at least ones that just don't look like garbage. And I mean, I wear them and I'm not at all conscious of them. I'm not self-conscious of them while I'm out. Um, I've never been like that, where I'm like, oh, what do people think about how I look? But it absolutely was something where I would look down at my shoes to put them on and be like, ugh, 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 every time, right? So it's just a little bit of a shift. And then the underwear thing, like, that was one part of not fashion, but clothing, that I always loved, was having sexy underwear that made me feel like just so good, right? And I have not let myself have that, even though I have this gift card. Wouldn't even cost me money. I could just go with the gift card. So changing that. Gonna go use up my gift card. But it was definitely a little bit of an eye-opening thing, where I hadn't realized how much I had fallen into these old habits of like, can't even spend $1 on myself. I could invest in courses and mentoring and coaching and all of these things online, but I wasn't investing in like a few dollars for a new pair of sandals, So it's about your perception of yourself and what you deserve, what you're allowed to have, all of that. So, going to be kind of looking at my whole life from that perspective of like, is there anywhere else that I'm treating myself this way, that I can upgrade, that I could make things better? And one of the ones, I'll talk about that probably in tomorrow. So yeah, just these realizations of like, where in my life can I show the universe that I'm ready for better, that I'm ready for more, that I'm ready to upgrade, right? So that is choosing to feel what I want to create, right? That is making it happen, because it doesn't need to cost thousands of dollars for a pair of sandals. It can just be a few dollars. But not choosing to spend that is a signal to the universe that you don't think that you're worth even a few dollars. And this is not to encourage anyone to break the bank, go on a shopping spree, when you don't have the money for food on the table, a roof over your head, whatever. But sometimes just a little thing, right? Maybe instead of buying a coffee, you go buy that pair of sandals. Or maybe instead of, whatever one of your vices may be, or one of your, little splurges that you do now and then. What if you set those aside and used them to signal to the universe that you're upgrading the things in your life that don't necessarily have to be upgraded? And yours may not be sandals or underwear or whatever, but look around your life and think like, where am I signaling to the universe that I'm worth crap? That I am allowed to just have crap, and that's okay with me. And that might be a little bit confronting if it's like, well, it's not my fault, I'm broke, whatever. But if you know me, if you're in my world, I'm going to say radical responsibility every time. Everything is always by our creation, even if it's unconscious creation. So sometimes we're not being conscious about what we're doing, what our choices are, all of that. And that leaves us with results that we don't want to take responsibility for. But I do believe in the law of attraction. And I do believe that we bring in what we call in. And so if we want our lives to look different, we're the ones that have to make the change. It's not ever the people around us. It's not ever like pointing the finger and blaming someone else. In this case, I could have been like all angry that like, oh, my last pair of sandals broke. I had to walk with my bare feet. I had to, I could have taken it from that victim mode standpoint, and it would have been like the universe was punishing me. And instead it was just like the universe was saying, hey, now that you have this money coming, did you want to upgrade? Right? It was like, hey, nudge, nudge, poke, poke, reminder, you're worthy of that. You're worth that. So, yeah, I invite you to take a look around your life and just upgrade one little thing. Like just something small. It doesn't have to be expensive, but just signal to the universe, I'm ready for change. I'm ready for better. I'm ready for more. And, those little intentional actions can be really powerful. And I do know this from experience, even though I wasn't doing it myself in this situation. Anyways. All right. So that is what I have for you guys today. I will talk to you tomorrow.